The art of falling. Now, I myself am a huge fan of cliff jumping. It relieves stress. If done right, it can make one feel alive in a way that not many other activities can. It invokes a sense of freedom that can't be felt anywhere else. As cliff jumping is a mind-erasing, heart-pounding, and adrenaline-filled sport, it is also inherently very dangerous, if not executed correctly. The first thing that must be done before anyone can think of cliff jumping is to understand the risks that go along with it. The second item on the agenda is to ensure both the safety of the jump site and the landing site. And lastly, it is imperative to know how to properly position one's body while falling. Cliff jumping is an amazing sport that can be both irresistibly fun, but has its dangers. When looking over a cliff, you may think that the water below is a nice soft cushion, but it's not. When you're falling through the air, you're falling at a speed of 9.88 meters per second squared, or 32 feet per second. When falling from a height of over 50 feet, you can accelerate up to 52 to 64 feet per second. The impact alone can break bones. You also need to understand that there could be obstacles in the water. Obstacles include rocks, trees, wires, fences, bikes, anything really. But the obstacles in the water aren't the only thing that'll hurt you. The water itself can hurt you as well. You also have to understand that you need to be an extremely strong swimmer when cliff jumping. If you jump and you go too far down and can't swim back up, you can drown, which obviously is not habit forming. You need to understand how to position yourself while jumping. You need to understand that if you don't position yourself right, you can hurt yourself extremely badly. When cliff jumping, you need to ensure the safety of both the landing site and the jump site. What this means is you need to make sure that when you jump, you have ample room to get far enough away from the rocks at the bottom. You also need to ensure that the place you jump from is safe, that you won't hit anything on the way down, and more importantly, that when you land, you're not landing on rocks. When you go cliff jumping, the first thing that you might want to do is depth check. How to depth check is to get in the water, preferably swimming, either swim down or drop a rope with a rock attached to it and measure the rope. You also want to swim down to check for any obstacles that could be beneath the water's surface that you might not be able to see. When positioning yourself while falling, you need to make sure that your arms are against your chest, you're in a straight, your body is in a straight line, your toes are pointed, your head is facing forward, and more importantly, you're not trying to cannonball. You never want to try any new tricks while jumping off a high cliff. If you mess up, it could be fatal. You don't want to spread out. You want your body to be as concise as it can be. Do not ever form an L with your head. You could hurt yourself really badly. If you keep your feet or arms flat, they'll slap the water. The more surface area hitting the water at once creates more injuries. In conclusion, cliff jumping is a very extremely fun sport that can also be extremely dangerous. If not done correctly, cliff jumping can range from all sorts of injuries to even a fatality. You need to know how to properly position yourself. You need to know how to check for safety hazards. And you need to understand the dangers that go along with cliff jumping. Thank you. Are there any questions that you'd like to ask? How high to go too high to cliff? How high is however high you're comfortable with. If you don't know how to jump correctly a 30-foot cliff, you shouldn't. You should start off with something small and work your way up. You can't just start and jump from a 70-foot cliff. Are there any other questions? Thank you.